Cutter. Y'all can come over and feel how hard this is now, if you would like. See, it doesn't have much wiggle to it. Now it can hold the next 20 pounds of clay that I'm going to put on there, or so. Okay, if you notice, it's wonky, it's got some wiggles to it, it's up and down. When you put your next set of coils, you don't want to keep that up and down. If you kept that up and down, it would eventually, each time you put the next set of coils on, get worse and worse, and then this thing would be very, very wiggly. Okay, so I cut it on center again. I'll take my little tool and I try to only cut off about 3/8 of an inch. Sometimes they can get upwards to an inch, but then you've lost all that work that you just did. I'll cut and hold. I cut it at a slight angle, and I'll pop this off. And sometimes I can get it to land in that pop. We'll turn this off. Save all your clay. Don't ever throw clay away unless it's been bisqued. Something I want y'all to think about. Let me get everybody's attention in the ceramic world. You are contributing to the archaeological record when you fire your pots. Edit. If your pot looks like a piece of crap to you, it's going to be a piece of crap. It's going to continue to go. You can't, what is it? What's the old, put a lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. Right? Yes. Experiment, go through, do experimentation, but you've got to figure out when you need to start editing, because you are contributing to the archaeological record. In 5,000 years, they will be digging up your pot shards. And you don't want to represent your culture of right now, your culture of makers, with crap. That's an experiment, go through, I fire things, but just think about that. It's also cool, right? I was in Jingdezhen holding 3,000-year-old pots. I've been to the Smithsonian and been down into the stacks and held a 5,000-year-old pulled seto, like Korean pinch pot that you can see the fingerprints in. It's awesome. Your pots can last that long. Your artwork can. Maybe your painting can or your print can. But not as well as this is. You could take this out, bury it, and it'll be just fine. You bury that painting, it's gone. Right? So, think about that and enjoy that. Enjoy that fact that that piece is going to be around longer than you are. Even if it's in a shard, you're going to decompose faster than that little shard of pot that you just made. Okay? So, I just cut this on center. We'll spin it up. You see it's nice on center. Well, it's got a wiggle. I was telling you guys that's what happens when it dries. Now I'm going to throw this little section so it's nice and thin, because I want to be able to put that next set of coils on there. So I'm going to grab my rag and just kind of hold the rim, and I'm going to pull this rim up just a little bit. I'm not trying to do all of this in one step, and I want it to be nice and straight as it comes up, and I want it to go from thick to thin. You're looking for about 1.5 to 2 inches worth of thinner clay area for that next set of coil to go onto. A little rock in there. I want to leave it in there because I like the story that the little rocks and freckles, you can't tell I like freckles, I like the pimples that come out of the pots. I like the moles. I like that part of handmade pottery, right? Yeah. So I've got that. I'm going to get the water off the inside of the pot because we don't want any standing water if we can help it. I'm going to leave this part kind of wet. I'm going to find my yellow rib, and I'm going to clean up this outside edge. And again, kind of throw up just a little bit. Okay? That part of the clay goes from, this is exaggerated, goes from a thin point to a thicker area. It's like that. It's kind of a wedge. I've scraped off the outside edge. This, I'm putting the next section on again, is the only time that I'm scoring, and I'll take a cut little scoring tool. I'll go down about 2.5 inches. Get some teeth for the layer of coils to go on. I stretched out that rim. I'll stretch it back in. Get the wetness off the outside as much as I can, because that's where my hand's going to sit. If it's really wet and sticky, you might rip it. And now I'm ready to put my next set of coils on. And I just do the same thing over and over and over again. Normally I'll put 7 to 8 sets of coils and then stretch it. I might only do 5 or 6 so I don't screw up. Because I don't want this to fall apart. I'm putting on a show. It'd be great for you guys to see me mess up, but it'll be quite embarrassing. We all mess up as we make. You've done it. How many times have you seen he demo, or Chris demo, and just like, oh, never mind, we'll start over again. I do that all the time in my demo.
He turns into mosaic.
Yeah. Mine turns into over there, which will get wedged up and turned into another pot. We've been collecting pottery shards. If you ever get a chance to go to the Chicken Farm in San Angelo, it's an art center that was created by a gentleman by the name of Roger Allen. He's probably in his 70s now. Health isn't so great. Take care of your body. But it's this wonderful place. It's an old chicken ranch, like it was owned by Tyson or something when he bought it in the 70s when it went defunct. Turned it into a clay studio and then turned more studios and more of the chicken houses into other studios, gallery spaces. It's really awesome. Wow. Long story short, they take their shards, instead of doing a shard pile, they'll get a column, like a wire mesh kind of circular column form, and they just fill that up with their pottery shards. It's really awesome. We're going to start doing this. So you get this like...
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really awesome. It is. Okay, so take the belt off, which I already did. Coil, yada, yada, yada. Good story.
So at the Chicken Farm, they do a ceramics symposium every single year. And so if you ever get a chance, you should go. It's really fun. They have talks and they do workshops and they have a dance and a barbecue. And so it's a really fun time and it's very just, it's all a bunch of ceramics people. Everybody's just chill and having a good time. So if you ever get a chance to go, it's really good. They do a big reception at the museum there.
I'll be coming out and doing this next April, right? Even years.
Yeah.
So the Texas Clay Art Show will be back there.
Six-pack show.
Yeah. So
Six-pack
if you get a
show.
chance sometime. I know it's quite a trek. It's far, but it's fun. San Antonio's a pretty sweet little town, and it's not little, but
They have the best ceramics museum in the state of Texas, if you ask me. They have a wonderful collection. And you know how you go to most museums, you want to try to find the ceramics, you got to just go look for the bathroom and go downstairs. That's where you'll find the ceramics. We're kind of the bass players in the art world, although everything in the art world comes from clay and comes from what we do. But anyway, it's okay. Theirs isn't next, actually it is next to the restroom, but they have a really nice display area and they have a really wonderful collection of Texas artists and of some of the historical pieces. They've got some Hamada stuff in there, they've got Bernard Leach.
Yeah, they have a heart for ceramics that museum does.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really pretty cool. So you can see some cool stuff. They're very integrated with the art center there. So they all kind of just work together. The school has, I don't know if they're moving it, but their studio is right part of the art museum. So it's really
Right
cool
next
spot.
to it.
Yep.
Do y'all have an art center here?
Do we?
Community.
We've got the International Museum of Art and Science. There is, if you weren't aware of it, if you know David Freeman here.
So you're gonna go with 5 or 7?
Right now I'm at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'll probably keep it at 5.
Sometimes there's interesting shows.
And when's the Harlingen Art Walk is a week from today?
next Friday.
Next Friday.
Whoops, looks like we're going to
So-
6.
I was wondering,
That's
yeah, because you
Gregory's,
mentioned earlier
hometown.
you were gonna stop at
Harlingen.
Texas. They've got a pretty exciting scene going on with Art Walk Beyond Arts Gallery, the Camino Studio, and Brian Wentworth's Titan Studios, I think, really are making that local scene sizzle.
Thanks, Chris.
Yeah.
We're Camino Studio.
Yeah, Harlingen's gotten kind of fun. Beyond Art, I think, like the commercial gallery in the valley. They do a pretty good job. It's kinda-
But the community don't get in trouble for it. And if you do sue something, it's better to ask forgiveness than to ask permission, I would say. But I don't tell my students that. I tell other people's students that.
Well, we got a security officer in the room, so.
Uh-oh.
Don't be spreading that, Gregory.
Oh, I'm just kidding. All right, so I'm still doing the same thing. I got these coils on. I'm connecting this section. You see how floppy that clay is. If you forgot how dry it was earlier, I'm about to lose some of it. It's trying to flop in. So I'm working a little fast and just trying to get this situated and ready to grow.
With the torching method, have you had problems with moisture redistributing?
Not really.
That's good.